What are you building that you cannot buy? This is the legacy piece of what you're doing, right? Money is cool, but what you're doing is actually building something that you physically cannot buy. Let's talk about that.
Start a business. When you have this grand idea,
Mm-hmm.
you don't look at I would hope you don't look at your business as a liability.
Right. You
Right?
shouldn't look at your business as a
Right. So
liability.
if you are starting this business for whatever reason, to
Mhm.
create wealth, to, create a legacy, to serve the community, whatever your business is designed to do,
Mhm.
it should be treated as an asset.
It's Monday, y'all, and we are back with the Executive Chair Podcast. And today, keeping in mind the theme of May being Mother's Day month, I have with me a powerful mom boss who does her big one in every way. She has helped someone secure over $150,000 in business capital. She is from the low country, like me, my low country sister. She is from Charleston, South Carolina, a proud graduate of Francis Marion University, a proud member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a mom, a boss in every single way. And for the first time ever, I have never done this before. For the first time ever, she is my client. I have never had a client on my podcast. And today I have a client on my podcast. Today I welcome to the executive chair, y'all, Gia Crawford. Hey, girl.
What's up?
How are you, my girl?
I am good. How are you?
We doing what we can today. I appreciate you, man.
Girl, I got you.
Listen, this was phone a friend, and you answered the phone, and I appreciate you. You have such unique business, and being an entrepreneur, I think that it's important that you put the right resources and the right people in front of people, just to show them the possibilities and what can be done if they trust the process. So I am so very excited about having you. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to touch down to the check. We're going to come back up to D.C. We're going to circle back around to Charlotte. And we're going to have us a good time
All
today.
right.
Okay?
I'm ready.
All right. So it is an executive chair tradition that we do a lightning round. Okay? The lightning round is nothing from nothing. These are just your personal preferences. There is no wrong answer. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, y'all, the executive chair welcomes Gia Crawford of SOAR
To the top.
SOAR to the Top Capital Business Funding. Let's go, y'all. So today, I'm going to give you some. Now, with the lightning round, there are some rules. You cannot have two. Well, I'll give you one freebie that you can choose two. Outside of that, I need one or the other.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Soft life or disciplined life?
Ooh, discipline life.
I'm soft life. Okay.
No, because discipline gets you to the soft life.
But that sounds like work, Gia. I don't follow no rules. You know
Discipline
that.
will get you to the soft life.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you be great. Okay. Influence or impact?
Impact.
I knew you was going to say that. Okay. Saying no or figuring it out?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
How many passes do I get?
You get one that you get to pick two. One question.
Ooh, that's a good one, but I'm going to pass on that one.
Okay. Scaling with a team or doing it yourself?
Scaling with the team.
I knew you was going to say that. Sisterhood or solitude?
Sisterhood.
I knew that. Okay. Helicopter mom or let them figure it out?
Yeah, I'm a combo. I know that. Did I break the rule?
No, it's all
Okay,
right.
I'm a combo.
Okay, all right. I'm going to let you combo pack that one. It's fine. It's fine. Scaling fast or scaling right?
Scaling right.
Scaling right. Okay. And last one, but I already know the answer to this one. Credit or cash flow?
Credit.
And say it again with your chest. Okay?
Credit.
See, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. I knew what I was doing when I made the phone call. I knew what I was doing. So I brought you on just because I feel like when you came to me as a client first, and we were just in the shop, just talking, just having conversation. And as I do with most of my clients, I always say, what do you do? And you said that you help businesses find business funding. I was like, what? Say that again. And I told you that at that time, my husband and I had been talking about it. And I did my own research and I was like, I gotta have her. So what led you? We're gonna make a circle. We're gonna just follow me, okay?
Okay.
What led you here? Where did this come from?
The short answer is real estate.
Okay. Okay.
So my husband and I, we started investing in real estate during COVID.
Okay.
So I bought my first house when I was 22. However, I didn't take real estate investing seriously. I didn't know anything about it. And so I had to leave for work. I moved to Detroit from Charleston.
Okay.
And I was young and became a landlord by default.
No, thank you.
I hated
No,
it.
thank you.
I hated it. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this.
Stupid.
Right. Ghetto was the word I used. And so I absolutely hated the idea of being a landlord. We were trying to manage this property all the way from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, COVID happened.
Okay.
Right? Prior to COVID happening, my stepfather passed away.
Okay.
And during his, funeral arrangements and everything, he ended up leaving some property to my mom.
Okay.
And so she was excited about it in terms of like trying to see how she could, maintain the legacy and so forth. And so when COVID happened, after helping her kind of like get things up and running, I'm like, you know what, this might be a good idea for us because my husband and I were living a life of like just, being content.
We frolicking. We happy.
We did what we went to school. We got the good job.
Yep.
And then COVID happened and we're like, oh my gosh, like people are like passing away.
Yeah.
And it was a health crisis, like a worldwide health crisis.
Yes.
And we were literally forced to stop and just like the world shut down.
Just be.
So we had an ability to think.
Right.
Right?
You
Because
had time.
For this past 5-6 years, we're in the hustle and bustle. We're in the grind. We're in the rat race because we're in DC and we're just trying to get it. And so when COVID happened, we looked at ourselves and we were like, look, if we can get out of this crisis alive, we are not going to enter it the way that we
went into it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we got into real estate.
Okay.
And we started flipping houses. And we started flipping houses in the surrounding areas of the Carolinas.
Okay.
And as well in Charlotte.
Okay.
And it was extremely successful. It was extremely successful. And so we were like, oh man, like we got to teach the people how to do this.
Right.
And that's when we realized that the people weren't prepared like we were. And so, my husband and I, we were able to leverage our credit.
Okay.
We actually worked together and we leveraged our credit in the maximum capacity.
Okay.
Utilizing OPM, which is other people's money.
I like
and
that.
So, yes, girl.
I like that.
And so we wanted to share with others, how they could do the same thing. And then we quickly realized that those that we were trying to bring on or, expose to, they didn't have the requirements. They lacked the credit score. They lacked the credit profile.
Yeah, everybody can't go, baby.
Right, I know. But then I wanted everybody to go. So then I became the one-stop shop.
Everybody don't want to get on the bus.
And started offering credit repair.
Stop it. Everybody don't want to get on the bus. Everybody don't want to put on a seatbelt. Everybody don't want to pack a bag. And everybody don't want to go to the same place you going to.
No. But I was trying to get them there.
No, man.
I was trying to get them
we
there.
all make that mistake.
Yeah.
We all make that mistake. And being a new business owner, you want to help everybody.
And that's what we were trying to do.
And then?
And then so we started the credit repair business, started funneling people in, getting their credit fixed. And then the next step is funding, right? Because in order to invest in real estate, you have to have some type of money, right? And people don't have, 6 figures in reserves to at least not to invest in real estate,
right. Not a house that they're not going to live in.
Exactly. Not a house that they're not going to live in. And so we wanted to be, again, the resource to help people get access to funding, and not just any type of traditional funding, because we know that there are some red tape that exists. And so we wanted to be that solution. And it evolved into, well, everybody don't want to invest in real estate, but people do have businesses that they need to fund. And people are bootstrapping, which I absolutely hate that word, but it's a real word, and people do it all the time. They're exhausting their savings. They're tapping into 401ks, their personal funds to, start their business, to try and keep their business afloat. And it's like, there's actually a better way.
Yep. And see, the problem is that I know for myself and my husband's business, we didn't have the knowledge of say, oh, so you mean to tell me that I could use somebody else's money to fund my business and to grow my business, and not be over here looking crazy in the middle of the night trying to figure out where this money gonna come from.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know, right? And that was the other reason why I wanted to have you come on, just because I feel like, especially at this big grown age, you can't, ignorance is not bliss anymore.
No, it's
you
not.
know, it just, you too old not to know the stuff that you don't know. So having you come is so important, because you are a great resource. And for somebody who is entering into their 40s and saying, I have this business idea and I think it's a really good idea, but I don't have the funds it needs to get this off the ground. So I told my husband about you the first time you came in. And I was like, baby, I actually called him. Remember?
Yeah.
I called him and I was like, babe, guess what? And he was like, what? I said, yes. And he said, she do it for real, for real? I said, no, she do it for real, for real. So that I just think that is such a neat concept, in being able to take what you know, educate those who want it, because not everybody want it.
Right.
And not everybody's willing to do what it takes to get what they need. You don't just help people get funded. You give them the tools that they need, so that way when they get funding, it's not reckless.
Absolutely. So
let's talk about that for a second. Like, go back to your first client that you got. What was that process like when she or he called and said, I got approved?
So my very first client, and so there's different levels to getting capital and getting funding. And so my very first client, she was one of them circle girls. Like, she already knew the hype and how to leverage it, right?
Okay.
So we did card stacking for her, and she got a little over 100,000 in cards for her business. And she was like, it's go time. This funding for her was for payroll and for also accounts receivable.
Wow.
And so the good thing about it is that you can utilize it for whatever you need for your business.
Right.
But the very first client, I was like,
we in there.
Yes.
We in there. We in there.
Yes.
Now let's rinse and repeat.
Right. And that's what we've been doing. Rinse and repeat.
Wow. But did you feel like in that moment, like, other people need to know how to do this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I will say is, because I said that there are many different levels to the capital and to the funding. And a lot of my clients are getting access to a large sum of money for the first time, right? And so it is important to me to come up with a plan and produce them with a strategy in terms of how we are going to leverage this money.
Yes.
Now, the fact still remains, you can do whatever you want to do with this money. But at minimum, we're going to do this. We're going to sit down, and I'm going to sit down with you. We're going to do the calculations to see, okay, what is this term loan or whatever you're paying back going to look like over the next 6 months.
Right.
And you're going to set that money aside.
Right.
Because we're not spending that money.
Right.
Because just because you have access to $50,000 does not mean you go out and spend $50,000.
Absolutely.
So that is one of the most important and critical components of me getting my clients funding, is educating them and then helping them come out with a strategy, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of the funding companies don't have empathy and sympathy. They give you the money and
be like, go be great.
Exactly.
Go be great.
Exactly.
Go be responsible.
Right. That part. And so that is one of the things that I take pride in terms of the service that we provide, because it's not just transactional, it's relational. Like, we're building trust. We're providing people with, access to money that will change and could change their life, their business, their future. And so as someone that actually, I'm a product of my product, right? I've gone through the highs and the lows. So not only am I giving you this service, but I'm telling you
what I know for certain,
how not to over leverage, how not to, over exhaust your funds, because I've done it all.
Right.
So, what better person to work with? Not just someone that's just providing you, but who is actually familiar and has had their own experiences that they can share to prevent.
Listen, they always say, like, this ain't, I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I know this. I know what can happen, And before we dive any deeper into this, like, who were you before you understood how powerful positioning was, as far as like financial position? Because I feel like, oh my God, Gia, like, I've been in my business, August will be 10 years, Hazel's be 5 years. And if I knew the things that I know now, I feel like I would be so much further ahead. Like, who were you before you realized how important positioning was?
That's a good question. I was just a girl lost in the sauce.
Girl.
Like, I was.
So many of us.
I was doing what I guess was laid out for me to do. Like I said earlier, I went to school, I got good grades, I got me a good job, and I was just coasting.
I'm good.
I was just coasting, and the kids were good, the family's good, and we were just coasting. And there became a time, and this was prior to COVID, where it was like my commute in DC was ridiculous. I'm a corporate girl, so I have a corporate background. So my commute in DC, working in DC, was ridiculous. I would spend 2 hours just commuting, an hour to an hour back. My husband and I had shifts. He had the morning shift dropping the kids off. I had the evening shift. And so when you have to, plan your life around work, it was like something's got to give, but I couldn't figure that part out. It would only take, several more years after, like, something starting to turn in my brain and starting to get that itch, like, there has to be something else better than this. That I can't drop my babies off to school.
And I said this before, like, I, in my brain, just like you, went to school, did what I felt like I needed to do, never saw entrepreneurship coming. Never. I prayed for this job. I prayed for this job so bad. I fasted for it. I did all of the things. And mind you, this is after I had gotten my license to do hair. And I told God, I was like, I just want my corporate job with a corner office and an assigned parking space. That's all I want.
Very specific, too.
And God gave it to me. And I was miserable as hell. I was miserable. I was so miserable. Like, every day I was afraid of getting fired. Every day. I was scared for my life. Well, I take that back. That was dramatic. I was scared of what would happen if this came to an end. And one day it ended. And I remember feeling like, oh gosh, I can't get fired anymore. And like, at what point do you say, this cannot be life? This is not real. This is not what I signed up for. And when you think about that day when you were like, okay, I want to be able to take my kids to school. I want to be able to go on field trips. I want to be able to just not sit in traffic for 2 hours every day.
So in DC, we have this commuter lot. Okay. Right? And it's a commuter lot where you have the option where you can park your car and slug. What is slug?
What is slug?
Slug is when you just hop in a car with a stranger that's going in the same direction that you're going in.
What?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
It's the culture. Yeah. So you literally, once you get acclimated, you literally can hold up a sign, and then there's certain parts of the parking lot that is designated for certain areas of the city where people are driving to. So, as a newbie, you can stand up with your sign and say, hey, I'm going to, in my case.
Let me make sure I'm clear, because in my head, I'm visual. So you telling me that you can park your car and stand outside with a sign and say, I'm going into Metro DC, and somebody will pick you up?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So,
but to be in the car with an ass murderer.
To be more specific, you would say something like, I'm going to Horner Road, or I'm going to, like, you would be more specific in terms of where you're going. Everyone in the commuter lot is going to DC, right? So what? So we lived in Northern Virginia. So everyone is commuting from this lot. So you're either commuting through a slug, which is someone that's driving, and you have to, and the reason why this is important is because in order to use the HOV express lane, you got to have at least 3 people in the car, right?
Yeah.
So that's the like the icing on the cake. I get to drive into work, and then I get to just have 2 people traveling with me. I drop them off. We ride on the HOV for free. So you get a free ride. Listen, I felt the same way at first until I was tired of riding the bus, because that was my other option. Get on the commuter bus.
What?
But it was then. It was a wet morning. It was like 4:50 in the morning. I started my job at 6:15, which meant I had to get up around 3:30, 4 o'clock in order to get to the bus and in order to get to work on time. And I'm like, this is insane. It was a wet morning. It was very cold, and I was standing in the rain waiting on a car.
With your sign?
At this point, I'm veteran now.
You established.
Yeah, I'm established now. I already know what cars are coming and who's going where. But in that day, a lot of cars weren't coming.
Wow.
So it was like hit and miss. And if you miss your window of time, then you could very well miss a ride that's going in your same direction. And it was in that moment, it was a wet, cold day, and I'm waiting on a car, and the cars aren't coming. And I'm like, looking at, okay, the buses, they're like 15, 20 minutes a piece or apart on the route. And I'm just like, something has got to give. And I just text my husband. I was like one of them,
we've all done it.
Yeah. And I was just like, this can't be life.
So how long after that day did you start exploring other options? Because it's not immediate.
No, it's not immediate.
It's not immediate.
It's not immediate. So we moved to DC in 2013.
Okay.
Something started to ruffle in me around like 2015.
Okay.
Right? So, because when we got there, and I was like, wait a minute, I got to get up a whole 2 hours ahead of time.
I ain't got it.
But I was like, okay, it is what it is. But then like a couple years later, it was like, this is just starting to become a little bit too much. So it's 2015. And then I got pregnant with my son.
Okay.
And I had him in 2016. I had him at the beginning in January 2016.
Okay.
So right before I found out I was pregnant, things started to like really like.
Okay.
And so once I found out I was pregnant, we immediately made a financial plan, because I was like, I want to be out of work for 6 months.
Right.
I don't want to just take this little, 6 weeks.
New baby.
Yeah.
No.
I want to be out for 6 months. So we planned for 6 months, and I stayed out of work for 6 months.
Wow.
Right? And I enjoyed
every
bit of it.
I believe it.
To the point where I was at the sewing machine. I'm like, I'm going to start making like little necklaces for the baby to gnaw on and sell them, because I don't want to go back to work.
I ain't going back.
No, it was called Mommy Ale.
Gia, what? What is happening? Oh my gosh. Oh my God. So you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I ain't going back. This ain't gonna work. And then you started looking into...
I started looking into being in business on my own. Yeah.
2012 is when you started getting the itch. 2013, you were like, okay. 2015, it was like, yeah, something got to give. And then you saw your baby 2016.
Yeah.
And you were like, this ain't gonna work.
So at month 4, in terms of being on maternity leave, I was like, I gotta figure something out, because time is ticking now.
This
like,
ain't
I only
work.
got 2 months left. I gotta figure something out. So yeah.
So in terms of funding, like, do you believe that a lot of people say that they need funding, but is it that they need funding or that they need structure?
They need both.
Okay.
They need both. And so the reason why I say that is because about roughly 82% of businesses do not succeed because of lack of funding. Because
82%?
82%.
Oh, that's more than 50. That's closer to 100.
It's a high number.
Ooh.
It's a high number. More than 82% of businesses fail.
So is that lack of funding or is that misuse of funding?
It's lack of funding.
Lack of funding.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there, what are most entrepreneurs doing that is blocking them from having access to capital?
So I think one is just unaware.
Okay, I believe that.
Yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are not aware that funding exists. When we talk about banks and money, you probably think about like your Bank of America, your Chase, your Wells Fargo, like the big companies.
Yeah, the big
but there's
three.
So many financial institutions that you would be like, say what now?
Come again,
There's
say what?
so much money out there that's available. And I think part of it is awareness.
Okay.
And then the other part is what you mentioned in terms of structure. They're not prepared. They're not properly positioned to get the funding once they are aware that the funding is available.
Now, have you ever gotten somebody, you got them funded, and they had a plan, and they just completely did what they wanted to do?
Knock on wood. I don't even say not
Don't say yet.
No.
Just say no.
I have not.
Okay.
Because I'll just say this. If you qualify, that's great. But we are very intentional about who we serve as well. And so there's that educational component that we do at the beginning, as well as at the end of the funding route as well.
Okay.
And so and I'm not, cherry picking or anything like that.
Right.
But if there's any type of inclination that you're not going to do.
You going to be reckless? I'm out.
I don't want any parts of that.
Nope.
I don't want any part, because even though you have access and you're free to do whatever you want, I don't want that coming back on me that, I had something to do with this. Had contribution on you being irresponsible with the funding. So, and you kind of can weed those people out, but thankfully so, we've been funding people that have been intentional about growing their business and what they're going to utilize it for.
So I didn't touch on this in the beginning, and I should have. Your business name is SOAR.
Yes.
Where did that come from? Let's talk about that.
So, to be honest, my husband and I, we were just exploring. We wanted to be creative, but we wanted to be intentional and have meaning behind it. And not that the SOAR, because it's capitalized,
it is
stands for anything in particular. What we do hone in on is that R stands for result.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we want people to soar. We want people to not get stagnant, not get comfortable in their, in their business, in their way of life, and always striving to reach to the top.
Yes.
Right? Whatever that
top is.
Right? And it doesn't have to actually have a cap.
Right.
So the SOAR is just, inspirational, motivating, but not just soaring in your business, but just soaring in your whole entirety.
Yes, in life. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Have you ever funded someone so much, or shocked at the results, or shocked at how fast it happened?
So speed, success loves speed, right? And when my clients, they want to get funded yesterday.
2 weeks ago. Like, what we waiting on? I found you, get the money. I need it in my bank.
Yes. And so one of the clients that I had that shocked me the most was the speed.
Really?
It was the speed. She had gotten funded in less than 72 hours.
What?
Yes. We went through the process. I got her pre-approved. And she was excited. So I got her pre-approved under contract immediately. We went to the marketplace, started getting her offers, and we're on the phone talking, and we're going over her offers. We're talking about, what terms make sense, what she should select. And, I'm modest. I'm very conservative. I care about my clients, right? So I'm like, let's try, for the 25. And she's like, no, I want to go for that 50K.
Let's shoot for the fence. I want to soar to the top. Give me the top.
She want to soar to the top. So she's like, let's go for the 50. And I'm like, okay, all right.
But you are very, I've in the shop, you are very conservative. So I absolutely can see that.
I just want to straight people right, So she's like, I want to go for the 50. And at that point, I'm like, I support you.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And she accepted the offer. And literally, like 20 minutes later, she texted me. She was like, girl, I just got approved.
Woo! Yeah.
So then we doing our dance.
Absolutely, 100%.
Congratulating her,
100%.
And then 2 days later, the money was deposited into her account.
72 hours.
Yeah.
At what point are you like? I'm good, but I am literally great at this point. Like, have you got? But you're not like that. So I don't see you as like, I get down. I don't, and while I'm here, I'm gonna stay here for a second.
Okay.
And she's from Charleston. I'm gonna start this way. She's from Charleston, South Carolina, downtown Charleston. But Gia in the shop that I know, Gia from the Chuck, okay? Like, that's what it is. That's what it is, okay? So, like, just in that moment, are you like, I did that?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. All day, every day.
And do you feel like, just from what you've seen, do you think that it is possible do you think some people just want to stay broke because they don't know? Or do you think that people are willing to do the work if they knew?
I think some people are just willing to stay broke.
I thought that too. I think that
it's a mindset. It's a mindset. And, as much as I want to help everyone, I've learned from a few times or two that, I'm not in the business of convincing you.
Nope.
I provide a resource. We provide a service that is going to be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are just set on what they think. And what I try to emphasize is that there is a difference between good debt and bad debt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so good debt, it puts money in your pocket. Bad debt, it takes money out. So that's where the liability happens. And I think, for one, a lot of people don't trust themselves with money that they've never had.
Absolutely.
And the second thing is, when you start a business, when you have this grand idea,
mm-hmm.
you don't look at I would hope you don't look at your business as a liability.
Right. You shouldn't look at your business as a liability.
So if you are starting this business for whatever reason, to mm-hmm. create wealth, to, create a legacy, to serve the community, whatever your business is designed to do, mm-hmm. it should be treated as an asset.
But I don't think people do. I think people think that they have an idea, and they think that the idea will fund the dream. And then when the idea no longer funds the dream, then they resent the dream and the idea, and they stay in it because at this point, I've put so much time and energy into it that I just gotta stay on this sinking ship.
I can agree with that. I also think that when a lot of businesses come to fruition, many people don't have a plan.
You are absolutely right.
And so, we can talk about structure all day long. It's extremely important, mm-hmm. right? Because that's the foundation of your business.
Right.
But just because you have a really cute logo and a fun, sassy name,
she did not.
I'm just saying, like, that it's
the truth.
It doesn't drive customers.
You are exactly right.
It does not drive clients.
You are exactly right.
So what is your mechanism mm-hmm. for bringing in the cash flow?
Mm-hmm.
Texting your family and friends is not going to immediately. They are not.
They are not your client, and you can figure that out soon, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Okay.
So, what's your strategy in terms of finding new clients? Are you at a place now where they're finding you, or is there strategy behind this new era of attracting clients? What are you doing? Because you've been outside.
Yeah,
I've seen you out a whole
mm-hmm,
lot,
mm-hmm. And I'm gonna stay outside. I'm going to stay outside.
She did say she outside.
No, here's the thing. Like, first of all, funding is a very serious topic.
Absolutely.
Again, it's life-changing, and I can do all these things behind the screen, behind the computer, but there's nothing like reaching out and touching and having those relationships with the people, most importantly in your community, right? And so I am always going to be outside building those relationships, educating people, building trust. Because at the end of the day, I want people to not just work with me to get one round.
Right.
We going all the way to the top.
We're going to soar to the top.
We're going to soar to the top.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm going to always be outside. But to answer your question, it's turning into more of attraction.
Okay.
But I'm going to continue to serve my community.
Last month, I was like, Gia out this weekend? You came and got your hair done? I was like, Gia out again? Then you came last week? I said, you going well? Like, you, girl, are you home at all anymore? What's happening? Oh my goodness. In terms of like, what does behind the scenes of a business, what does that need to look like for someone to acquire 6 figures?
So you have to have your structure in place. Formation is going to be extremely important. You know, having just an EIN and an LLC, that's fine. That's the very, the minimum.
Right.
You need to have, some people don't have business bank accounts. Some people are operating out of their personal bank account.
But it's a business.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, things like, Cash App, that does not suffice as...
It's a bank account, Gia, and you being judgy.
It's not. I'm trying to tell you. So, Gmail, having a Gmail account and you going into the bank asking for, 5 figures.
Or what a Gmail.
So those are like foundational things that people need to have in place. Commingling funds, like I just said, you need to have a business bank account. You need to show that you are a legitimate business and you are helping someone with something,
whatever it may be.
Yeah, whatever, if it's a product or a service, but you need to present yourself like that. In addition to that, so we know that for businesses that are getting funding, they're just starting out. Right. So that process may look a little bit different to a business that's been running for many, many years.
Okay.
And so they don't have, the majority of my clients, they have no foundation of business funding whatsoever. Okay. So we have to leverage their personal credit in order to get them in the door for business funding.
Okay.
And so for personal credit, you have to have at least a 680 credit score. Okay. And then no derogatory items on your credit profile, like no late payments within the last 12 months. Okay. No collections, bankruptcies, those type of things. And then we look at utilization and then DTI. Okay. All of those are taken into consideration. Okay. Because we want to make sure that you can handle
money when you get it.
Exactly.
Okay. When you... especially for a lot of people, this is a whole lot of money at once. Are people shocked that so much money is available?
I don't think that they're shocked that the money is available. I think that they're shocked that some of it came to them.
They're shocked that they're actually eligible.
They're a recipient of
to get some of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And we're in the home buying process now, and I will say, we had to hire a CPA because I was commingling, and he was like, "What are you doing? Mm-hmm. You have to separate your funds. We're going to the bank to ask for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. We need to, in my brain, I'm thinking like, it's just me. It ain't that. It is. Mm-hmm. I need you to separate and get things together. And again, at this big grown age, not knowing is no longer a viable excuse.
It's not.
You gotta,
it's not forgiven either.
No, and you have access to resources to know things. It's just, are you taking the time to know those things?
Right.
Let's talk about your husband real quick. So let's talk about that man. Okay. So how long have you been married?
Oh my God. So this year will be sweet 16.
Hey, sweet 16. Okay. And y'all met?
We met at Francis Marion University.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And was it love at first sight? Was it a hookup? What did somebody connect you guys? Come on now, we here now. We here.
No, so for me, it was definitely love at first sight. I'll say. So Kendrick came over to my apartment because Francis Marion have the apartments, and he was coming over to see one of my roommates. Not like that. Right. They were just like cool or whatever. So he came over to see one of my roommates, and me and one of my other roommates, we were sitting at the table, like just chatting it up. I was eating on an orange. And so he goes and chats with my other roommate who he came to see, and then like maybe 10, 20 minutes later, he leaves, right? Okay. And I'm kicking my other roommate under. I'm like, who is that?
What is his name?
And she was like, you want me to go get his number? I was like,
yes. Figure it out.
And so she did. So she went outside, and I'm like, Lord, this is so, like, what am I doing?
Here we go.
And so she came back, and she was like,
now, what you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with that?
And so I called him, and what I did not know is that at the time, my line sister, her boyfriend at the time, and him were really cool. And so he was asking about me.
Oh my God.
Through my line sister.
So it was meant to be anyway.
So it was meant to be, but it was love at first sight for me, because I was like, who is this brother?
Who is that? So my freshman year was done at Francis Marion. I stayed in Snow Island.
I was in Belle Isle.
I stayed in Snow Island. But, I'm grown now, so I can say I wasn't ready for college. College wasn't.
My goodness.
I was frolicking between Francis Marion and Coastal Carolina. And at the end of spring semester of 2023, they was like, we want you to go home and rethink this and come back. So I transferred up here. I had to go to York Tech for a semester because I frolicked my entire freshman year.
Oh, boy.
So I had to go to York Tech for a semester and then enrolled into Winthrop. But yeah, Francis Marion was a good time. Do you hear me? It was a very good time. So y'all be married 16 years this year, and you have 2 boys.
Yes.
How old?
Kyler is 17,
and he's getting ready to graduate.
10. Yes.
So how are you coping with that? Like, are you okay? Are you?
No.
She said, I am not okay.
No, I'm not okay.
Is he ready to go? Like,
I think he is. I'm just not.
She said, I'm not there yet. And he's the oldest, and your baby is
10.
10. Now, who keeps y'all together? Who is like, which one of them are like, mama, now? No.
Karsten is the youngest, and he definitely keeps me together and in check.
Carson run the house. Carson said he ain't got time to play with you.
He
been here before.
The leader.
He's been here before. So how often, I told y'all she likes to say Charleston. I say to Chuck.
Oh,
how often do you go home? How often?
See, don't put me on blast.
I am.
Like that.
Come on now.
That is not okay.
Come on now. We going home. We frolicking in Charleston to get some food, go to Folly Beach. What you doing?
It's been a minute. I owe home a visit, to be honest.
It be like that, though.
Yeah, I owe home a visit. It's been a minute. And when I say a minute, it's been about a year.
Okay, that ain't bad.
Yeah.
If you had said like 3 years, I've been like, all right, now, Gia, come on now.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Okay, all right. And when you do get a chance to go home, does it feel like home? Or I feel like they've built so much.
It does not feel like home anymore. My mom's still there.
Okay.
My brother is still there. So from the family aspect, they're still there. So yeah, I get that.
Okay.
But from what I remember Charleston to be growing up as a little girl and even as a young person, it's just not that anymore. No. And even the home that I grew up in as a baby and then as a teenager, those homes don't even exist anymore.
Nope.
So going back home is great to see my family.
Right.
But I don't get that, that feeling anymore because it's not familiar.
Right. I get that. I definitely get that. Today, in terms of going backwards to your business for a second, do you feel that information is enough? Or does it require you to, you have to have action? You have to have information and action. Is the information enough to make people spring into action? Or Or a lot of people stagnant?
Oh, absolutely. Information is never enough.
Okay.
Information is the starting piece, because here's the thing, and I've been a hoarder of information.
We all are, especially when it's good stuff.
Yeah, and so it's like, now that you have it, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
So it's the information plus the execution that actually matters.
Yeah. So you help people access money, but what are you building that you cannot buy? This is the legacy piece of what you're doing, right? Like, money is cool, but what you're doing is actually building something that you physically cannot buy. Let's talk about that.
See, I had already prepped myself. I'm not gonna get emotional right here. But
come on, that's what this is for. That's what this is for.
What I pray and what I hope I'm building is impact.
Absolutely. Yep.
Because it's not just about self.
Nope.
It's not just about my family.
Nope.
It's about being a servant and being a vessel.
Yep.
And so what I hope and pray that I'm building and we're building as a family is impact. Impact to our community. Impact that families can work together. Families can build together. And being a valuable resource. At the end of the day, being able to help change people's lives and help them carry out whatever they've been called to do. Whatever that is. Our little contribution assists with that.
Yes, ma'am.
By being obedient.
And I want you to change that word, because it's not little. What you're doing is big. It's massive in every way. You're taking the wealth of knowledge that you have and you're depositing into people and giving them action to be able to grow and fester their dreams. That is not something small at all. I will tell you, for the first time ever, I am so impressed with what you do. And it was so important that I have you come, because originally we planned for July.
Yeah.
We planned for July. And, God had his way. But it was so important that I have you come here today, because last month the podcast by itself did over 40,000 views.
Wow.
By itself. Not because I'm great, not because I'm Oprah or Emma, what's her name? Emma Grade, whatever her name is, but because the people who have come in this space have left valuable information and people are intrigued. And I feel that with so many people feeling the desire of entrepreneurship, what better way to feed that desire than to have somebody come in who can say, you have an idea, now let's fund it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you are my client, but we working on something this year. And as soon as that is done, I'm going to be your client. Because you got two businesses. I got a business and my husband got a business. So we going to be your clients. As soon as we get finished with this acquisition, we're going to be clients. Because I just feel like when you're building something bigger than you, you need more than it just be you. You need a team. So before we leave, because you are so amazing and your kids are growing and they see you as mom and all this other stuff, you're building something powerful. And I want you to take a couple seconds and look into that camera.
Okay.
And I want you to talk to Carson and
Kyler.
And I want you to tell them what you're doing. And they know what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. And it's Mother's Day. And because it's Mother's, I want them to know just how powerful, how amazing, and how intentional their mom is. So before we leave, I want you to give a love letter to your babies.
Oh, okay.
Take a moment, but this is for your babies.
To Kyler and to Karsten, I say to you that we love you. I love you. And no matter how cruel or unfair people in this world can be, you don't have to. Always stay rooted in your faith and know that you can do and accomplish anything you want to in this world, you get to write that story. Mm-hmm. No one else does. I'm so proud of both of you. I love you both. And I hope and pray that you see all of the hard work that your dad and I have been doing is just to build that legacy, and then you get to take it on and continue the legacy.
Come on now. I love the executive chair, y'all. I love it with my heart because I'm able to do this. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than this platform. This is giving information to people who need it in the time that they need it in. And I don't know, this episode is going to air, not this week, but next week. But once it's out there, it's out there. And the impact that it'll have is limitless because you're giving them a resource. Now, we are closing, and are you taking new clients, or what's the process?
I'm always taking new clients.
She's talking about, I'm always taking new clients. That's what we're doing. So if someone is interested in reaching out to you, connecting with you about their business, what is the best way for them to contact you?
So you can reach out to us at hello@operationsoar.com. You can also follow me on Gia Got Me Funded on Instagram.
Gia Got Me Funded, girl. I like that. Okay, girl.
And then if you want to, we're personal. We're personal here. So if you want to shoot me a call or a text message, that number is 704-770-1131. And I see you at the top.
Gia gave her number. She gave her phone number to the people on. All right, Gia, I'm here for it. She said she ain't playing. Y'all, I appreciate your time. Gia, I thank you, baby. This was good, man. This was everything I thought it was gonna be and more. And I am so happy that you said yes. I'm so happy that you decided to put a pause in your busy schedule to be here. It means a lot. It does. I thank you. I thank you. Y'all, until the next time, the Executive Chair is a place where stories build strategy and strategies build legacy. Until next time, y'all.